Okay. Hello nerds. Again, I should probably stop starting videos with that. Just, I don't know, it's just the casual way I speak. Uh, Bing! That's just me turning up the volume. God, this video's already a mess and it's already a minute in. Anyway, I haven't made a review in a while, but it was requested that I do it again. So, here we go. Yeah, review. Yeah, I really should do a team tune for that. It sounds a lot better than review. Yeah, I can't even describe what I did there. Anyway, just awful. Anyway, oh, fuck's sake, piano music. Anyway, I'm going to do a 5-part review of William Shakespeare's play Julius Caesar. One day I will actually portray. One day I will do a review where I actually say something positive about Shakespeare. I promise. I mean, I will. I will actually do a review where I say something positive about Shakespeare. I will actually do that. I promise. It's just not this review. Yeah. I don't like this play. That's an understatement. It is a lazy play, and I am not just talking about historical inaccuracies, although yes, they are a problem in it, which I will get to later. I am actually just talking mainly from a literary perspective. The play is incredibly ill thought out, and I don't know, I guess Shakespeare needed to make some quick cash off it, so he just threw it out there because, yeah, it's, well, anyone could look to a historical source and decide to adapt it, so, you know, except he adapted it, except he didn't even bother to accurately use the historical sources, but anyway, now I am being theatrical, oh, beware my own ides of ego, oh, fall Caesar, oh, sorry, anyway, so why do I hate this play? Well, okay, the play opens with two Roman senators who we will not need to know, and they are only mentioned once later on in Act 1 that they're executed for defoiling statues of Caesar. I mean, come in and they start having a sexual innuendo, talking about sexual innuendos with members of the common populace. This is meant to be Shakespeare trying to be funny, I think, except that it's not funny, so the whole scene is pointless. Then we get. So yeah, after those senators fuck off, and we get a little bit of exposition, which is the only important thing you need to know from the scene. Julius Caesar enters with Mark Antony and an entire crowd. Brutus and Cassius and Cicero and all the them there. Now hold on, Mark Antony? Oh, the Romans. Mark Antony sounds like a British name. Isn't this meant to be ancient Rome? Why is he called Mark Antony? I don't get it. Shakespeare, is there a reason for this, or did you just decide to just make up a non-Roman name and give it to a Roman historical individual? Just, yeah. Okay, from now on, Mark Antony is going to be called Bicus Ticus because that's about as Because that's about as Roman as what Shakespeare was going for, and at least Bickus Dickus as a Monty Python reference. So yeah. Anyway, so Julius Caesar, followed by Bickus Dickus, and several others enter. Uh, and Caesar has returned from a triumph. There's now Shakespeare assumes the audience knows the historical context of this, which is another thing that pisses me off about the play because it's so fucking self-indulgent. Anyway, to put a historical context on it, but not bore you with a history lesson, Caesar returned from crushing his enemies in the Civil War. So the play opens in 45 BCE or so, and Caesar. So Caesar has come back. I think it was from where was he in 40? I think in 46 BC he was in Spain finishing off the Civil War that started in 49 against the Republican forces led by Gnaeus Pompey, his arch rival. HBO's Rome, serious Rome, does a better job at historical context than this play, and that's really saying something. So, yeah. Anyway, Bickus Dickus and Caesar and all them come in, and the crowd are excited to see Caesar, and Brutus and Cassius is a bit pissed off. He suspects that Caesar is, that Caesar's intentions are bad for the Republic, and so he talks to Brutus about this, and he notices that Brutus has been sulky of late. Brutus says that he hasn't been sulky because Cassius, and he still regards him as a friend. So then Cassius tells him would he consider turning against Caesar if he needed to, and Brutus says, well, yeah, but hold on, I don't have that much evidence to say that I'm to say that I'm against to say that I need to be against Caesar. I'm going to come back to this scene because there's a huge part of it that just pisses me off, even though first I have to get to another scene that pisses me off. Caesar is warned to beware the eyes of March by the soothsayer, and actually he ignores it. Apparently this happened actually historically, so I can't blame Shakespeare for that. Although the whole scene just comes off as anticlimactic in the play, so I can't blame him for bad drama. Yeah. Caesar suspects Caesar doesn't trust Cassius, and he says, yawn to Cassius and the lean and hungry look. Bickus Dickus tries to reassure him that Cassius is actually a faithful Roman, to which but Caesar isn't convinced, and he wants Bickus Dickus to tell him what he really thinks of Cassius. So he tells him to go and talk to him on his left side because he is deaf in his ear. So yeah, his right ear, I think. Okay, why? Why did you make Caesar deaf? Is there a reason? Shakespeare? I mean, I guess if you were trying to be symbolic that he's deaf to the conspiracy that has been plotted against his life, except the only problem with that is he's clearly not deaf towards it because he suspects that the main plotter in the conspiracy is Cassius is what you know conspiring against him. So he's clearly not deaf towards the idea that there's a conspiracy against him. So I really don't get the symbolism. It's just like, was this going to be developed into a plot point and then Shakespeare forgot about it? I don't know. Anyway, we don't find out, but Bickus Dickus goes off stage with Caesar, and we go back to Brutus and Cassius shooting the breeze. It turns out a lot of... Now, this is one of my biggest problems with the play, possibly my biggest. That a lot of the action takes place off stage. It turns out the crowd have been offering... that Bickus Dickus offered Caesar a crown 3 times, and Caesar each time more reluctantly rejected it. Brutus hears the crowd shouting, and he actually says, I quote from the play, oh, listen, a general shout has gone up. They must be making Caesar a king. Well, okay. Well, Brutus, I'm glad you know what a general shout translates into. I mean, they could be shouting about anything. It's a crowd. The only reason Brutus says this is because Shakespeare wants to give him some sort of foresight going into Act II. Okay, yes, Casca, another conspirator, comes in and he tells him that he was there and he witnessed Bickus Dickus offering Caesar the crown, but that takes place off stage, along with the execution of those 2 random senators from the first scene that we don't need to talk about because, anyway. But Bickus Dickus, so Cassius uses this to try and turn Brutus against Caesar. Brutus isn't convinced, and he says that he will dine with Cassius the next night. And they go off. Then the scene changes to Casca, in the middle of the night, walking around Rome with his sword out. It's a stormy night, which I have to give credit where it's due. This scene is effective. The Romans were fearful of the weather. They were superstitious. They believe storms were ill omens. So Casca's fear that there is ill omens symbolised by the weather is actually accurate, and Shakespeare does this well. Cicero enters, that guy who was a big important figure in the time, but he's such a minor character in this play that if you don't know anything about the time period, then you might ask why the hell is he even in this play. And he discusses the significance of the weather with Casca. Casca gets generally creeped out, then Cassius appears, and the 2 discuss the conspiracy against Caesar some more. Then Cinna, another one of the conspirators, who again Shakespeare seems to think you should know. He was the sort of Roman politician, basically, who was dictator. The dictator was actually a political Roman office back in the day. It was not the same as the modern term of dictator. I'm going to discuss that at length in a more when I talk about the historical inaccuracies in this play. Cassius has decided that he's going to forge letters to Brutus from different people inside Rome to try and convince him that Caesar is aiming at a personal tyranny. He tells Cinna to drop these letters in Brutus's chair in the Senate House and through Brutus's window. Don't worry, I'm sure Brutus won't actually fall for this because it was very obvious that Cassius was conspiring against Caesar, and he pretty much told Brutus this. So I'm sure that Brutus won't fall for some dubious sounding letters that Cassius seems to just have come up with out of nowhere. I'm sure Shakespeare will resolve this clearly in Act II. That's the end of Act 1 anyway. Let me know what you think. Bye.